If you're planning to go to Paris, you might want to have some explanation about the historic places where the Olympics took place and the venues were at specific places in Paris that have historical background. So I would like to share this background with you.
All took place in the center of Paris and for good reasons.
Let me give you some interesting information about these venues, so you don't have to do any research or little research. So we'll talk about le Grand Palais and the Petit Palais, le Pont Alexandre III, la place de la Concorde, le Champ de Mars, Tour Eiffel et le Trocadéro. And you will see all of these have an historical background, a common background, which is the Universal Exhibition of 1900.
When you think about it, these Olympics were really sustainable as we were able to reuse venues dating back from 1900.
We hosted this, and this was the place where every country were invited to show their technical progress, improvement, new technologies, and that was a big feast. It was a big success in France. It was around 50 million visitors. Remember that at that time we had 40 million people inhabitants, so that was a huge success. And the goal was to host it very, very astoundingly. So we had a plan to reunite the Invalides et les Champs-Élysées. And back then you had a palais, between these axes. So the big plan was to create a special bridge, which was the Pont Alexandre III, and destroy this palace and create two different palaces, one in front of the other one, so that you can have the access direct to the Champs-Élysées. And that's what we have, le Petit Palais et le Grand Palais. Palace is palais. So we were able to destroy a big palace in order to make two new ones.
Now let's talk about the Grand Palais. As its name says it, it's big. Grand means big. It's even huge. As a matter of fact, it's a double palace that you can see on the map. And it's recognizable from everywhere with its glass ceiling. One reason of the big renovation undertaken was the glass ceiling. The glass ceiling had to be safer and sustainable in terms of temperatures.
From day one, Le Grand Palais was supposed to welcome big public, and the 1912 exhibit was showing aircraft, and the air show was inside Le Grand Palais, which is crazy when you think about it. It also hosted the car show, which is crazy when you think about it. So Le Grand Palais, I've seen it all. We've seen jumping in the Grand Palais, we've seen ice skating, we've seen fashion show.
As I mentioned, Le Grand Palais et Le Petit Palais were built at the same time, facing one another. And I love how you can have a look on the Grand Palais through the windows of Le Petit Palais.
The Petit Palais is a very nice place, and as impressive as the entry gate might be, calm is the garden inside. It's a semicircular garden. It's a very beautiful place, very calm. You just want to go there and have a cup of coffee. It's very, very, very beautiful. Le Grand Palais usually hosts art exhibitions. Le Petit Palais hosts ever-long collections, but also temporary exhibition. The Petit Palais is free. Right now it's free, and it's free all over the year. So you can go there, it's beautiful, it's magical, and it's free. For Paris cultural life, Le Petit Palais and Le Grand Palais are an important place. And Le Grand Palais was being restored for a few years now, so we were so impatient to see it being used again. And it was ready for the Olympics, but for the art exhibits and so on, we have to wait until 2025. I would say Le Petit Palais, Le Grand Palais, Le Pont Alexandre III is kind of a beautiful hub of nice places in Paris. So when you're facing the river, you have on your right le Grand Palais, on your left le Petit Palais, straight on le Pont Alexandre III, and behind les Invalides.
With Paris 2024 Olympics, you could only see half of the bridge, but still you could see the details. And here you can see that 1 year ahead, in July 23, they tested for the triathlon on the bridge. This is the bridge everyone wants to have a picture on. And it's one of these places that you keep picturing even if you have tons of pictures of it already. For sure, I'm guilty of it. Here and there you would find very beautiful details. We call this kind of art Art Nouveau, which is new art, and it's dated on the years 1900s. You would find half a boat, beautiful lamps, plants, and even here the rooster crowing, which is the symbol of France, and you could find a fish. Every detail is worth having a look at it.
Another building that was created for the 1900 Universal Fair is la Gare d'Orsay, and la Gare d'Orsay we know it today as le Musée d'Orsay, just in the middle of Paris, right at the same area where everything is taking place right now.
Les Invalides today it's a huge museum and it covers almost all the history of the country and the geography. You have a church connecting two buildings and it's surely worth the visit. It's a beautiful place, it's very interesting, it's big. And it's a place also of national memory for Louis XIV, Louis XIV, Napoleon, our emperor, and Charles de Gaulle.
Let's talk about la Place de la Concorde, because la Place de la Concorde is also very interesting. First of all, it took 20 years to be built. It changed name twice. It was first built for Louis XV when you are facing towards the river. Behind your back you have two big buildings, and these two big buildings have replicas in Philadelphia. One is the Free Library and one is the former family court. Now, in the center of La Place de la Concorde, you have the obelisk. And the obelisk is a gift from the Egyptian vice king to France. It was created 3,300 years ago. It arrived in France in 1836, but it was kind of a nightmare to bring it there. And keep in mind that it's 23 meters high, it's 220 tons of stone. Just behind the venue, the building is l'Hôtel de la Marine. And l'Hôtel de la Marine is where the Navy had its headquarters until not so long ago. It became a museum after almost last year, after 4 or 5 years of big works to renovate it. But until then it was the Navy, and before that, before the Navy headquarters, it was le garde-meuble.
For the Eiffel Tower and the Champ de Mars venues, I will skip this part as I have made a whole video about the Eiffel Tower. For those who did not know about it, I'm a big fan of the Eiffel Tower, so there is a whole video dedicated to it. And last but not least, Le Trocadéro. Le Trocadéro with its now so famous Champions Park. Each part of the building hosts a big museum. On the left, on the picture, Le Musée de la Marine, it's all about sailing and sea. And on the right, Le Musée de l'Homme, very interesting, all about the history of mankind. Of course, this video wouldn't be complete if I did not mention Le Jardin des Tuileries with the Olympics cauldron not far from the Louvre. But it's so interesting that I already made a video about it. And I hope you enjoy having a little bit of background, because these all talk about French creativity. And creativity is a subject I'm passionate about. I will probably make a whole video about French creativity. As a matter of fact, I grew up in the 70s during the oil crisis, and back then we had an ad on TV saying, in France, we don't have oil, but we do have ideas, and I still love it today.
Until next time, thank you!